What's going on, guys? It's John here from Hot Take Hockey to give you a video about the Montreal Canadiens and whether they're going to make the playoffs or not, make their case for both sides. And if you're watching this video, please subscribe, drop a like, and leave your comments below. I really want to hear your opinions, and let's get right into it. So, the Canadiens, why will they not make the playoffs? Well, the Montreal Canadiens going into the season were not expected to be in playoff contention. They're expected to be average at most, which they actually are. But there's a lot of attributes to this team that make them a possibility to make the playoffs. But why they won't make the playoffs is actually very simple. This team doesn't have the firepower. And you know what, there could be a lot of arguments made that guys like Max Domi, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Jonathan Drouin, Shea Weber, Jeff Petrie at the point. Yes, Carey Price, for me, is still one of the best goalies in the league, and in the playoffs, if they get there, could carry this team. But as some people I know would say, this team isn't sexy, and that's the one problem. I think that's why a lot of Habs fans have wanted that big number one center. You're still going to be getting that centerman, whether it's in the offseason or from one of your prospects in Suzuki or Ryan Poehling. You're still going to be getting that, but for right now, you don't have anyone sexy. And I'm sorry if that upsets people, because I know how much Habs fans are excited for Kotkaniemi and how great of a season he's had, but he's not in the Calder conversation. Not to drop the guy's potential and successful season, for a guy like Brendan Gallagher, he actually had a better season last year. This season, it's been more carried by guys like Tatar, Drouin, and Domi. And for the Habs, like I said, they are very average. If we go over team stats, point percentage, just above average. Goals for and goals against, essentially right on the league average. Power play percentage, they are dead last in the league. This is the one that they're not average on. This has actually been a huge problem all year, and we've seen it time and time again in the playoffs. If you're not scoring on the man advantage, you're not winning a series. That's where the difference comes. And you know what? The Montreal Canadiens have one of the difference makers in Carey Price. That is definitely a difference maker in the playoffs. But another difference maker is power play percentage. And to have a 12.2% as I make this video on the power play, 31st in the league, it's ridiculous. Penalty kill percentage, they're basically exactly average. Save percentage is pretty average. And that's not because of Carey Price. At 5-on-5, Carey Price and Antti Niemi and whoever else has played has a .923 save percentage. The Montreal Canadiens are really looking at just a very average team, and that's nothing against them, because you weren't even expecting them to be in playoff contention in middle to late March. So for the Montreal Canadiens, there's a lot to look forward to, and that's as I move into the positives of this season. You got Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and there was a lot of hate against him, and now his development this year has been ridiculous. A 6'2 centerman, he's played on the third line, he's been getting ice time with a lot of Habs forwards, even Jonathan Drouin as of late. You got a career year from Jeff Petrie, which can be a good or bad thing. If he can keep consistent like this for a couple more years, you'll have a solid 3 defense core, and you can go get someone in the offseason. For guys like Andrew Shaw, Jordan Wheel, Paul Byron, Joel Armia, underrated guys that you weren't expecting a lot from, you've gotten a decent amount from. Joel Armia from the Jets, the Habs, and Marc Bergevin took advantage of a situation where the Jets were trying to save cap, and Montreal took that opportunity to get a guy like Joel Armia, who's been great for the team. Another guy like Phil Deneau, who's the exact same age, 25, has played in the second line role. And at the end of the day, if you're going to get that big, like I said, sexy top centermen, yeah, one of the centermen may have to go to the wing, or there might have to be a trade involved, because right now down the middle, obviously you have Domi, Deneau, and Jesperi Kotkaniemi. And yes, on most teams, in my opinion, Deneau would probably be a third-line center. Kotkaniemi, probably in the same boat, but obviously at the age of 18, this guy's got potential. Big potential to be, maybe not a top-line centerman, but I'm looking at in the future as being that really solid number 2 for Montreal. And we really don't know who that number 1 is going to be, going back to Suzuki, going back to Paling. At the end of the day, these are the positives for Montreal, and you see it with many teams going into a rebuild. If you make the playoffs the first year of your retool or rebuild, or whatever you want to call it, I think Montreal's more in the boat of a retool. And that's a really successful season. And you know what? Maybe the negative is you're not getting the high draft pick. But the young guys you have now, and you could look at Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Arturi Lehkonen, Victor Mete, those kind of guys, and you don't have a lot of the young guys, even Domi and Drouin are only 23 as well. You're getting them a lot of experience. And I think if the Montreal Canadiens squeak into the playoffs, that's what you're going to be getting. You're going to be getting some huge games from Carey Price, and you're definitely going to need your even bottom 6 guys to contribute. And I think even a small addition like Nate Thompson to your 4th line, who's far above average on the face-off circle. That's another positive to look at for the Canadiens. But those are the positives. At the end of the day, you're probably only going to get 3 guys, maybe 4 or 5, that get above 50 points. And it's not great, but when you look at the Montreal Canadiens, they're producing as a group. And that's a positive, because development comes with the superstars, and the Montreal Canadiens definitely have guys that could be developing into a star, and I think that's the positives. And I think those are the reasons, talking about youth, talking about depth, talking about moving as a group, led by Shea Weber with the C on his jersey, led by Carey Price's net, led by your young forwards. I think it should be an exciting time for Montreal Canadiens fans. Maybe not because they're going to be a playoff contender, because I don't think that's the case for this year, but because they're moving in the right direction. So please subscribe to the channel, drop a like. Hopefully you enjoyed the conversation. This was John from Hot Take Hockey. Have a good one. Peace out.